and that is our all-chunk dough ball. You can make pizzas faster. The faster you can make product, the faster you can put that cash back in your pocket.
What do you think? Is it gonna break?
We can put it back together.
Oh my God, right?
When you have a business, my pizza's gotta look this way every time it comes out.
The thing I love about this is the color. The caramelization on this crust is gorgeous. My name is Maestro Leo Spizzirri, Director of Education for the Pizza University. I'm very fortunate to have one of our collaborators, partners, sponsors, a guy named Wegner. He's a pretty good dude. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you coming and hanging out today.
Those of us in the industry, the biggest thing that has happened over the last few years is labor. Labor is always going to be a constant issue, no matter what we do. So trying to find different ways to help improve that, we just try to add another item to our toolbox, and that is our all-chunk dough ball. So it's made with our all-chunk flour, which is the unbleached and unfermented spring wheat. So it's a 14-2, so it's very traditional for New York style pizza. See, the cool part about this dough ball, it does come in multiple sizes. Very simple, very easy to handle. Comes in frozen, broken out into your dough bits. Put under refrigeration overnight, get it temper for a little bit, and you're good to go. We handle fresh dough, we pull it out, we gotta let that temper, right? Usually a couple of hours. The neat part about this product is I can take this product right from the refrigerator, right from the defrosted state, make a pizza, and you wouldn't know it was refrigerated overnight or tempered for 3 or 4 hours. Labor savings is really huge when it comes to working with this particular product. So our 8-ounce dough ball, which is right here, we have a 16-ounce, a 20-ounce, and a 24-ounce. So they cover multiple styles of pizza, but the biggest thing is you can make pizzas faster. So the faster you can make product, the faster you can put that cash back in your pocket. This product will defrost in about 1.5 hours at room temperature covered. Depending on shop conditions, may take up to 3-4 hours, but you can punch out a pizza from that defrosted state. Right at your oven, you will not get those egregious air bubbles from a cold dough that you would normally get. Now, normally we like big bubbles. Kids love the big bubbles. I love the big bubbles. But there's a reason why those big bubbles do take place. They can throw off the bake of your pizza as well. From a cold dough, we know that can hinder how that product is baked. You can get a gum line, you get tough, you can get alternate textures.
I think that one of the things for me, that this is literally, we're doing this live on purpose. I haven't used these dough balls yet, the frozen ones. I would say that as a kid from Chicago, I probably used more making New York pizza than average guys in New York, right? So I've been around the industry, I've been around this style of pizza, and to understand that flour, when we make New York pizza dough, we say, oh, well, what is it? If you're in a class, what is it? Hey, what's your hydration? How much water compared to flour? How much went into that dough? You're always in that ballpark, right? So to me, I'm always skeptical as people are starting to say, all right, you don't have to do as much work. Always a hook. But I truly feel that being able to thaw these doughs the way we saw that, and then to see that there's no trickery here. Literally, the way they came out of the box, I put them in here, right? 3, 6, 9, 12. 12 dough balls in a box. These are 8 ounces, and these are standard size dough boxes. This is pretty consistent for what I'd see. In New York, a lot of times we also see people aren't using dough boxes. Sometimes they're using sheet pan. This could easily be a sheet pan with an overwrap. The one thing that Kurt said to me when he walked up and saw the dough is like, he did everything right, but I usually add a little bit of oil on the top. And this is another New York pizza thing, because when we make New York dough balls, we always put a little bit of oil on the outside of it. And I didn't do that today because my head is, oh, it's a frozen dough ball. Kurt's response is like, no, it's the same exact dough. All we did is helped you out.
It's a labor savings. It's literally, when you consider how long it takes to make a dough, if we just go normal, let's just say 3 hours from mixing dough, getting it balled, getting it rested, getting it into the cooler, that's a 3-hour window. If I take a dough ball out of the box and put it in the bin, what's my time frame? Because it's still got to sit overnight under refrigeration. It would be the same thing. We just cut all the labor out. That's the idea behind this. And there's a lot more to a dough ball that just makes the pizza. We know what this can be. That's the cool part. I know it will pizza. But what else can I make this do? I've chopped the dough ball up into multiple pieces. I've re-rounded it, let it relax a little bit. I've dropped it into muffin cups. Made like that new thing I did, pizza cupcakes everywhere. Works fantastic. If I just take this is a dough ball. You decide to take it out, right?
So beautiful.
I mean, it'll tear, and it can't tear. Let's say I muck it up, okay? That's okay. We can put it back together. Push it back down. I can reball this back up. Now, I just need to let this rest for about 20 more minutes, and I can remake a pizza with this. You can't do it right now because it's all, we messed with it.
It's all relaxed again.
So we want to relax it. I can take this another piece. I can make garlic knots with this. I can make a chopped block bread with this.
I want to see, you talked about the elasticity.
Listen,
I mean, just between us friends, we're making pizzas for a long time. I'd like to see actually what these dough can do. What do you think? Is it going to break? So when we make dough, we talk about fermentation, right? Smell this.
it's a New York style dough. So even if you kept product on hand under refrigeration or in the freezer, someone calls off, you've got a quick fix. It's not, you're not going to skip a beat. That's the idea. You're not going to skip a beat. Dough balls aren't meant to take away from that scratch style baker. They're meant to help. They're meant to help with the labor. They're meant to help you maybe make something that you couldn't make before. You make a very specific style, but now this dough ball allows you to make a multitude of different products without having to change formulation, without having to change oven temperature.
When we talk about flour, we talk about the strength of the flour, right? And this goes back as the guy who uses this flour to make fresh dough, right? And I got a question about this. So normally when I use all Trumps, I do a dough that's probably about 62 to 65% hydration. And normally I feel that my dough is at the peak at about 72 hours.
Yep.
And I love to go long, right? And when we talk about that New York dough, we always talk about how soon can you use the dough, and then we talk about how do you get to like the religious moment where it's, oh my God, right?
It's a great question because you have a finite answer for something like that. My cooler temperature in my kitchen is 35 degrees. Not everyone keeps their cooler that cold. So under colder temperatures, your dough is still a living thing. After 48 hours, you've got optimum time fermentation in most doughs. That's where you're building. Fermentation is flavorless. Once it's defrosted, it's a very good product. Overnight, it's an excellent product. Up to 72 hours, once you break that out, give yourself 48 to 72 hours, you're going to be just fine as far as flavor goes. Now, because it is a manufactured product, anytime you open a cooler, close a cooler, open a cooler.
That's a big point.
Where you're staging your dough by the cooler door, everything has a factor. So that's going to limit that shelf life. So when you can keep that product as cold as you can for as long as you can, you may go longer than 72 hours.
Not that it's lunchtime and then I'm hungry, but let's make a pizza.
Let's make a pizza. But you see, the dough it stretches so. Love that you guys all can come up here, and if you want to stretch this as well, it stretches. You almost have to be careful if it's a little bit too warm because the dough can get away from you. You can control the stretch when the dough is nice and cold. It's a lot easier to control. But you'll see on the back of your hands, you just toss. If it's a little tacky, now there's two sides to dough, right? You got the top and the bottom. So the top is actually the bottom, right? I mean, because that's what's going to create that nice crispy crust. A thicker dough that is baked at a lower temperature is going to eat differently than a product that's thinner, baked at a hotter temperature. So I can turn this into Detroit, I can turn this into Grandma's, I can turn this into Sicilian, Chicago style. I can do a number of different things with this product.
What do you think about cooking on screen?
I think everything has a good application. The screen is going to work if you're going to use your impingement oven, or if you have a really hot oven, that screen is fantastic to create a little bit of a barrier so that your crust isn't going to overheat underneath. So it's going to take a little bit longer to cook, but it's not going to scorch. When you have a business, my pizza's got to look this way every time it comes out. It's got to be the same size every time, because if it's not, it's going to eat different. Frosting it. Oh, we go. The one thing that this is not going to do is it doesn't perform as well in a super hot oven. So anything above 600 degrees, you got to be a lot more mindful. You want to make sure that you had a screen underneath that so it's not going to scorch underneath. At the end of the day, we're about... Let's make it go.
if you look at this really close, you can actually see through where the tomato starts peeking out. This comes from probably all my training in Italy. And then again, that whole less is more. Over here, if you eat double cheese, double pepperoni, whatever, if you lift it, yeah, sure, it's going to be up on the floor. The thing I love about this is the color. The caramelization on this crust is gorgeous. I'm getting some dirty looks over here from the crowd. We better feed everybody because I would like to thank my friend Kurt Wegner. I'm going to pull these pizzas out. You guys are going to try them, right? Kurt, if you want to know more about what you guys do at General Mills, how do they get a hold of you? How do they find you?
So we have our General Mills website, generalmillsfoodservice.com. Recipes, contacts, questions, complaints, anything. Bring it to us.
Kurt, thank you very much from all of us. I appreciate you hanging out with us, buddy.